Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Julie and you are joining me in our Common Design Mistakes series. Today we are talking about the dining room. While the kitchen is the heart of the home, the dining room is that fun social gathering space where conversations can last for hours over a hearty meal and endless wine. It's a place where you convene after a long day with your family to dish and catch up. Memories are made here and family dinners cherished. It seems very simple to design, and it really is if you avoid these common design mistakes that I see made in dining rooms. I think you'll get the gist of these videos now. I always start with space planning. Let's talk about choosing either a too large table or a too small table for your space. How would you know what size dining table to buy? First, you'll have to measure the space and lay out the floor plan. You'll measure the length and width of the room, and don't forget the ceiling height. Once you have the overall measurements laid out, you'll subtract 36 inches away from the walls. If you only have a few walls and there's passageways behind you, measure 36 inches away from the nearest wall and 42 inches away from a passage. Why do you need this space? That 36 inches is the minimum space required for you to be able to scoot your dining chairs in and out from underneath the table. After subtracting the 36 inches, whatever is left over is the maximum size that you can specify for your dining table. If you're going smaller than that size, try not to veer too much away from those measurements, maybe 3 or 4 inches, so the scale of the dining table is proportional to the size of the room. Now that you have the overall dimensions, let's talk about the area rug. A common design mistake I see pretty much for every room in the house, especially the dining room, is the area rug is too small. How do you know if the area rug is too small? Well, if you have your dining table set and your dining chairs around it, you need to be able to scoot your dining chairs out and you'll still land on the area rug. If you scoot your dining chair out and you fall off the rug, the area rug is too small. It's a common design mistake because I know that you're probably trying to save money by sourcing a smaller area rug. But not only does that small area rug make the space seem smaller, it almost clutters your dining room and feels a little bit claustrophobic. Choosing the wrong shape of the table. This is an easy mistake to make because I know that most people don't even consider the shape of their dining table when specifying furniture. Now that you have your measurements in hand, you'll know the shape of your dining room. Is it a rectangular shape or is it a square shape? If you have a rectangular footprint, you'll want to source a rectangular or oval dining table to span the width of the room. If you have a square dining space, even if it's off by a couple of inches, you'll want to specify a square dining table or a round dining table. Dining tables with corners, whether or not it's a rectangle or a square, is typically seen as a little bit more formal. A table with no edges, like an oval or a round table, is a little bit more casual. Plus, you have the benefit of being able to fit more people around the table. Avoid putting a rectangular table in a square space or vice versa. The proportions will be skewed and the furniture won't look balanced in your room. Now that you know what shape of table to buy, let's move on to your lighting choice. Choosing the wrong shape of lighting over your beautiful new table. Rectangular or oval tables should have a linear or horizontal light fixture above the table. The idea is to be able to span that light across the length of the table. If you have a square or circular table, you can look for a squared or round shaped fixture. Lantern-shaped light fixtures work best for round and square tables. If you have a rectangular or oval table, you could also nix the horizontal linear fixture and install 2 pendants instead. The idea is to have uniform light that streams across the table. Another common design mistake I see in dining rooms is the incorrect placement of the light fixture. That light fixture might be hung too high or too low. Too low can cause hot spots on the dining table and make the room look cornered in. Too high, and while the light fixture might light the ceiling, it won't do anything to light the table below it. You'll have to remember that light fixtures in the dining room could be actually placed a little bit lower in comparison to the rest of the home. Remember that no one walks underneath this fixture when it's hung directly over the dining table. A good rule of thumb is to have the bottom of the fixture at least 36 inches above the tabletop. 36 inches is usually my minimum height. You could go a little bit higher. What I would do is hang it at different heights, step back, take a picture of your room, and see which one you like better. But go with what feels right for you. Test out a few different heights, take pictures before your electrician commits. Make sure you always save your chains just in case you want to reuse this fixture for another room in the future. The right height light fixture can make it feel like it's an intimate feature to the entire design. Another common design mistake is not enough lighting. I have a really tiny dining space, but I still managed to fit a 24-inch chandelier over it and 4 recessed LED lights. I also have 2 candlelight wall sconces that I used to light up, pre-Kamari, when we would host these really elaborate dinner parties. My husband loves to cook up all of these culinary dishes. I love to host and entertain. So creating the perfect ambiance is really integral to my dining room design. Layers of soft, intimate light are perfect for those dinner parties. Whereas general lighting is really great for casual family dinners, doing homework, or even that occasional game night. Layer your lighting, place everything on dimmers, and be able to control the ambiance no matter who you're hosting or what's for dinner tonight. Choosing your paint color first. Avoid clashing your furniture with your walls by always choosing paint color last. This means that you have to do a little bit of extra work. You must specify your dining table, your dining chairs, the area rug, maybe some window treatments if you have windows in the space, before you pick the paint color. Why do you need to choose paint color last? If you have a wood dining table with wood dining chairs, I know you know that wood is one of the hardest colors to match when it comes to paint. Wood tones are especially difficult to match as an afterthought. Always pick your furniture first and choose paint samples to paint on the walls to see how they look next to your furniture and your interior lighting. Nothing is worse than purchasing a huge expensive dining table, having custom upholstered chairs to match, and finding out that it doesn't match your paint color at all. So do yourself a favor and always specify that paint color last. I've been wanting to make a video on my favorite paint colors that coordinate with a variety of different wood stains. Let me know if you'd be interested in that in the comments below. Purchasing a matching dining set. I'm really beating a dead horse with this tip now. We're a few videos in and you know that matchy decor and furniture is out. But if you want to put your designer hat on, you definitely need to mix and match furnishings in every specified room in the home. I would always start with the largest piece in the space. In this case, it's the dining table. Then I would move on to the side chairs and then the head chairs. If you already have a matching dining set that you love and you cannot part with, might I suggest replacing the head chairs only. This will allow you to bring a little variety into the space and not have everything look so one note. If you have a wood set, there is no need to look for matching wood tones. You can try an upholstered piece in a bold color or a neutral piece with a lot of texture. The idea is to look for a little contrast that still coordinates with the style of the room. Remember that there's not a lot of furniture in the dining room, so make sure all of your selections shine. Another design mistake I see made is sacrificing comfort for style. Before COVID, we used to host these elaborate dinner parties like at least once or 2 times a month. Because we identified with this type of lifestyle, I knew that I had to source dining chairs that were super comfortable to sit in for hours on end. Once we were done eating, we would hang out and chat. We literally could talk for hours at that dining table. You may remember from my thrift flip video that I sourced my dining chairs from Craigslist. I found these really comfortable upholstered office chairs. They looked comfortable. I just had to reupholster the fabric in my favorite pattern and they were good to go for my dining room. Beware that the most stunning chair you find might not be the most comfortable to sit in. So if you're purchasing in-store, definitely test it out. If you're purchasing online, make sure that there's a reasonable return policy and only purchase one dining chair at a time. Once you have that dining chair in your home and you've sat in it for a while, tested it out with your dining table, then you can go ahead and purchase the rest of the lot. If you have kids, make sure that the chair is sturdy, it's easy to clean and wipe down, and comfortable, so your kids will relax when it's finally time to sit down for dinner instead of fidgeting around in a chair that's too uncomfortable or too upright. There are so many incredible chairs on the market today that are comfortable, modern, stylish, and can fit within your budget. Another common design mistake I see made is no focal point in the dining room. Every room needs a focal point. The dining room really could benefit from having something to draw your eyes towards once you enter the room. If you only have one wall with a few passageways around the dining table, that focal wall is really easy to discern. If you have a few walls in the space, I would designate the focal point as the wall that you see first once you enter the room. It could also be the longest wall that spans the width of the room, so I'll let you decide which one you feel is the best fit. Don't just leave that wall bare. You can place a mirror on that wall or some statement artwork. You can flank it with some wall sconces to light up the room. You can add wall covering, texture, get creative. You want to create a really stunning backdrop for your furniture since there's only so many pieces a dining room needs. This is your opportunity to inject more color, style into the space and make it feel truly yours. Going too formal with your design. If your home's floor plan has a formal dining room, in addition to a more casual dining space, here is your opportunity to make it truly spectacular. But be careful of going too overboard or too formal, or else it will only be used for those special occasions and holiday meals. To me, that is a total waste of really valuable real estate in your home. So make sure that you're designing it according to your lifestyle and your function and not going way too formal. How you feel in the space will ultimately determine how you use it. You still want to go for comfortable seating, but give it a more elevated look than the casual dining nook. You might want to splurge on custom upholstery or go for a really sumptuous fabric like performance velvet. It's still really easy to clean, but it gives the dining room a very sophisticated, elevated look. An overdressed dining table. This tip is really more about dining table decor than design. I like a really simple table, not fully dressed, maybe a very strategic centerpiece, definitely no placemats, no china, no silverware, no glassware, maybe a vessel or two, and always something fresh. Why do I like a simple table? Because I typically like my light fixture to be the center of attention in that room. I don't want anything on the table to compete with the light fixtures, so here are some tips to avoid those common mistakes you might be making when dressing your table. 2 tall centerpieces where people can't see who they're speaking to on the opposite end of the table. Keep your flowers low and your candelabras slim. 2 cramped place settings where you have to place your water glass exactly where you picked it up, or you run the risk of knocking it over completely. Accessories such as the vases, the centerpieces, and the decorative objects helps you add personality to the space. However, when you add too many elements, it could end up looking like clutter. So just try to focus on a small number of accessories and make sure they're very meaningful. Keep it really simple but strategically styled. And the most common design mistake I see made in the dining room is reusing an old dining table that you absolutely hate. I mean, show of hands of who has this currently in their home. I remember growing up, my parents had this really beautiful kind of cherry wood, pearl inlaid dining table. I think every Asian household has that. My mom has probably had it for over 30 years now, and she won't part with it because it was so expensive back then, but it is traditional. It's so old school. I had recently renovated the home into a very modern aesthetic, and there you go. You walk right into the dining room, and there's this old dining table that she is still trying to make work. The moral of the story is I really just gave up on my mom, and she's gonna hang on to that for dear life, but there is no way that you'll be able to design your dream dining space if you're still hanging on to something that you absolutely don't love. If you're afraid to make that investment, just choose for a table with really clean lines, and in the future, you can simply swap out your dining chairs. Even though it's just a dining room, it doesn't mean that you can't inject your personality and style into the space. The color choices you make, the patterns you love, the finishes you pick, the shape and style of the furnishings are all opportunities for you to get creative with the space and show off a little of your aesthetic. If you've been liking this content so far, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions when it comes to designing your dining room, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that little notification bell to get notified of new videos that we drop every Tuesday. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.